Hey everybody, what's up? This is Devin, LaVore, and
Michelle LaVore
coming at you with a surprising frequency of videos.
I know.
I was going to say visitations.
We haven't had like this many videos in a row
in
a really long time.
Probably like over a year. But whatever, it's the flow of the Lord.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll just go with the flow, okay? And so, with that being said, welcome to the channel.
Yes. So glad that you're here.
Yeah. You're hilarious. I love it. And so we pray that you guys are just blessed by what we share. And we're excited to have you here, whoever you are that we can't see. But but also, this channel is a support-based channel. Our family is a support-based family until such a time as God does something different. And we have a PayPal link below in our description box. And if you guys feel led to give to us, that would be super, 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 super great. And if you can just click it and just, pray about it, do what you want to do. And thank you to all of those who do support us and have been supporting us. You guys are amazing. I tell you in the emails, but here I'm just broadcasting it for the world to see and hear. Thank you, you're amazing. We give glory to God, but we thank you. So,
amen.
There you go. I can't do one of those without starting to preach. I want to start preaching. I got to hold myself back, just be like, I just overwhelmed with the greatness. Oh, Lord, I'm overwhelmed.
Yes.
Facing the Giants. Anyway, speaking of facing the Giants, a little football movie. Take it away, Michelle.
All right.
Is it going to be a new thing I do now? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe not. But anyway, we got some really, really cool, interesting prophetic insights from Super Bowl 54.
Yeah. So I'll just start off, 2 videos ago we were talking about just being led by the Spirit of God and how, God just I am working outside just, even the structure that I set up, it doesn't mean that I can't work outside of that. And we totally experienced that last night, because for us...
Or tear it down and refurb and do something different,
But, so last night we were, we have God times in the morning and we have them in the evening. Mm-hmm. And so it was okay, the evening God time's coming up. And for those of you who didn't know, yesterday was Sunday, February 2nd, and it was the Super Bowl, which is basically the big football game of the year, and to see who's going to be the champions. And so it was going to start at 5:30, and I was just like, man, I would really like to watch it. Now, you have to understand, we don't really watch football. We never really have.
It's literally the first game we've watched all season.
No, we actually watched the AFC championship.
Okay, it's the second football game we've watched all season.
Yeah, literally. We watched
out of 17 games.
Yes. And all of the different football, it's not really something that we really even follow all that much. But for the last 3 years, God has really
not because we're against it or anything. It's just that's just not the way our life flows. It doesn't flow in that direction.
Yeah. And so for the last 3 years, though, God has really used the Super Bowl as kind of a prophetic sign. Yeah. And it's more than just for us, but it's a prophetic word to the church and what He's doing. And so I just really felt like, okay, this year again, God is doing something with the Super Bowl. And so just so it's it's unusual for us to really watch it, but last night it was I was just man, I really kind of want to watch this. So we started watching it because it wasn't our God time yet. But then it got to about halftime and we're okay, we'll just turn it off and do our God time. And then, if we get to see the end of the game, then so be it.
Yeah, it was literally 40 seconds left in the second quarter. So I was
we'll just,
nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
So special yet, so.
Yeah, so let's just, turn it off. And, if we get to see it, we get to see it. If we don't, we don't. Whatever. It's okay, Lord. So, all right, let's go into God time. And some things, other things came up as far as just
just different family stuff.
Yeah, family stuff.
Yeah,
and so
we
we're just talking and
had like a little family meeting basically.
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, well, man, like I don't know, we both like I really just wanted to, I was like, man, I really just want to kind of watch the game, and you were feeling that like, man, I think we're just supposed to watch the football game. So it's like it puts you in a place where it was like, but Lord, like this is our time, like for you, like this is our time where we worship you, we try and, you know, we read your word, we listen to what you're saying, you know. And you
told us not to forsake the discipline of it and all that.
Yeah.
Like this is way back in 2017. We started when he first started it.
Yeah.
He's like, don't let other things get in the way of this.
Yeah. And so it's like
okay, the busyness of life.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yeah. And so we were like, okay, but man, we couldn't escape the feeling of like, no, I think the Lord actually wants us to watch, you know, finish watching this game.
The Lord is asking you to do something weird and out of the box.
It's like,
I don't think it's the Lord.
How can that be, you know? And so, but we're like, all right, well, I was like, I'm for it. I really feel like we need to watch this because I felt like God was going to be speaking something through.
Well, and you were feeling that all day.
Yeah.
I had just got the word just that night, and I was like struggling with it. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It seems like it's outside the discipline. It's outside the structure. It's outside the, you know, what God's told us to do.
Yeah.
You know?
So, long story short, we just turned it back on. Literally missed nothing because it was halftime during that whole time. We missed
we missed the halftime show.
Yeah.
Which according to Facebook's, it was missable.
Yeah. So yeah. And
people were posting about it, and I was just like, oh, well, I'm glad we missed that.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, so we come back and we went ahead and we watched the whole football game, and it was just...
It's a really interesting story.
Yeah. But we honestly were just kind of like, you know, we're like, yes, we want Kansas City to win. Because for those who don't know, we used to live in Kansas City.
Yes. KCMO coming at you.
And then we moved here. But it was like, oh, come on. Like, this would be so awesome. And actually, that part of the reason we watched the one other game we watched, it was Kansas City versus the Tennessee Titans.
Like the place we used to live versus where we do live right now. And I'm just like, oh man, I can't root for anybody in this game.
Yeah.
I want them both to win. Can we just end in a tie? Yeah. Have you guys share the field in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
You know?
but you know, it was just like, okay, well, what is the Lord saying? And in that game, it was that the first time they had been to the Super Bowl in 49 years, so it was the 50th year, and, you know, 50 is representative of Jubilee. And so just because of that game, I was like, ooh, He is doing something. And we had, you know, and it was Super Bowl number 54, which for us, we looked and we were reading Isaiah 54, which has to do with, like, the Lord's like, hey, sing, O barren woman, you know, like,
You're seeing 54
rejoice.
Like crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, wow, okay, so there is something that God is definitely saying. And so we went ahead, we watched the game, and it was awesome. Like, I felt like it was just such a picture of just like, it was like this going back and forth for a long time, but came the fourth quarter, it was
a breakthrough.
It was like there came a moment, and it was just this breakthrough for Kansas
Breakthrough
City.
in the fourth.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Nearing the end of the fourth.
Breakthrough in the fourth.
And so, you know, they broke through. They ended up scoring a couple of touchdowns, and it was a clear victory. It ended up being 31-20 was the final score. But then it was just like, oh my gosh, like, God, you are speaking so much. So it was the last time they won the Super Bowl was 50 years ago. And I was just like, wow, Lord, you are speaking like this is a time of Jubilee. And so then this
is the 100th season
of the NFL. So it's just this like, wow, there's a 100, which is completion. Yep. And, you know, it reminded me instantly of Abraham. You know, he received his promise when he was 100 years old. Jubilee is all about being set free from things. It's about just, it's about freedom. It's about just rejoicing and having joy and celebration and all of that. And so then as we're, we went ahead and we watched like the whole ceremony. They get the trophy and all of that. And of course as they're doing that, they're giving you stats, about the coach. And wow, I am really just blown away by so much. So first, it was, if we were just for the team itself, the franchise. Well, it's been 50 years since they won, so it's like, here's Jubilee. Then, like, what was kind of crazy, and so that's historical. Like, in the NFL, there's no team that's had such a huge gap between the last time they won a Super Bowl to the next time. And they were like, that was, like, historical. Then we had another history-breaking thing was the fact that Kansas City, for the Super Bowl, the AFC Championship, and the game prior to that. So basically they're playoff games and into this game, they came from being behind by double digits. So they were 10 or more points behind, and they come back to win, which has never been done before, to have
ever
3 games in a row for that to happen. and it was just,
and then
like,
to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, that's never happened.
Yeah. And so, again, that was like this has never happened before. So then, on top of it, the coach, this is for him personally, I'm just like, I'm sure he is just rejoicing. So he's been a head coach for 21 seasons, basically 21 years, and has never won a Super Bowl. And
he's been doing it for 25 years.
Yeah, but as head coach.
25.
Yeah.
Okay, Abraham was called at 25, or at 75. It was 25 years later that he received the promise.
Yes. And so
the Lord called me 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now here we are in this 4th year of our called out journey. Mm-hmm. In this particular part, this specific part of our journey that started a new book, a new thing. It's a 4th, and it's like, and then the 100, he was 100 and so I'm like, wow, I really feel like this applies to me personally, but I guarantee it applies to the body of Christ too.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to be just looking at this going, whoa, because it basically is like a lot of fulfillment. Oh, that's hilarious. I look down and I see this thing, it says first 100 words. 100. Anyway, just take it for what it is. So it speaks fulfillment.
Yes.
And breaking of cycle. And it's not so much history being made, but historical things being broken.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Which is a making of a history, but it's a breaking. Yeah. It's that Jubilee idea of, okay, enough of this, we're going to start something new. We're going to break this cycle and go into something new.
Exactly. And so basically, he's been head coach. He's been to the Super Bowl before, but has never actually won.
Gosh.
And so they were showing the stats of like how long it's taken some coaches to win a Super Bowl, and it was like took 12 years. The next longest was 14, and he was at 21 years, and so 21 represents like the end of distress. And
21 years. That's a record.
Yeah. They're like, that's never
let's break that.
And so I was just like, that has to end a distress upon his heart. If you're doing anything, it's like the Super Bowl
especially
for a coach.
If you love it.
Yeah.
You just
your
love
whole
it,
heart's in it. And the Super Bowl for a coach is like, that's the goal, like to win a Super Bowl and to go for 21 years and never seeing that, never tasting that victory. And so here he was winning this game. And then on top of it, it's like this for him, he's of the games, like of his career, this was his 222nd win. Yeah. And for us, we're just
in his
like
whole career.
Oh my gosh, like 222. That is
That's been that started our prophetic numbers journey right there. I'm going to Walmart, and I just feel like these 222s, the cheese cost $2.22, and for whatever reason, it just popped out at me. And I just, when you have the presence of the Lord, He's communicating. The presence of the Lord descended upon me.
Yeah.
And it was like 222. I'm like, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
And that started our whole prophetic journey. Listen, if we start getting glorious because of the sun, we can't control the sun, okay? So just keep listening and just absorb the glory that's coming forth, okay?
So funny. And so for us, the 222s, we really feel like it's the Lord. It's opening his hand to give something to the house. Because the number 2 has to do with the house.
In a miraculous way.
Yeah, in a miraculous way. It's like, hey, he's opening his hand. And so I was just like, that is just crazy. And then the other thing was just that so he's won 222 games. But this was his 366th game of his whole career. Mm-hmm. And I just thought it was significant because I was like, wow, 366, that really stands out to me. And I was like, whoa, this year is a leap year and there's 366 days this year. And so I just felt like it's like, hey, this is beginning something. Like this year is a year of fulfillment of promise. You know, like he came to the Lord came to Abraham.
Again, represents a fullness of days.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Abraham, he comes to Abraham and he's like, you know, by this, you know, when he was 99, he's like, by this time next year, you're going to have the promise. And so it's like, there is a fullness, you know, a completion to what the Lord has said. And so he received the promise when he was 100. And so we're just like watching this game, and it was just like, Lord,
that's amazing.
Like you are saying so much. And I just, you know, and then on top of it.
Now see, if it wasn't the Spirit of God, none of this would be relevant.
Yeah,
literally none of it. It would just be another game.
Yeah.
But you just, you know, it is the Lord.
It
you know
really
what I mean?
Is.
It's like the angels that came and talked to, what's his name, Kevin Zadai or whatever it is. They were coming from the Pentagon. They're like, who are you? They came and talked to him. And they're like, who are you? He's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, we're the angels assigned again over at the Pentagon. They think they're in charge. We let them think that. But, you know, we're running the show for God over there. And, you know, it's like you think that these things are insignificant. A lot of times they're not.
Yeah.
You know, God speaks through a lot of different things. Keep going.
Yeah. And so we're just we were just like in awe of just what the Lord was doing. And so afterwards we talked about it, and you know, we were praying, and then you know, the kids finally went to bed, and then you got on Facebook and somebody had posted this thing from Bob Jones, who was a prophet, and apparently he had told
Sean
Bowles,
because Sean Bowles, he hung out, he was pretty tight with them and Mike Bickle and, you know, those guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Why don't you say what he put on there?
Oh, he said that, what was this? It said something to the effect of, I should just put it up there. So he told Sean Bowles, when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, you know that God's getting ready to bring revival on the earth because he's raising up his apostolic chiefs.
Mm-hmm. And so we saw that, and I was just like, wow. You know, like, I really felt like at that moment, I was like, God, you had us watch this for a reason.
Well, and I researched it because sometimes people will put up posts with someone's face and they never said any of that stuff. So I researched it and I was like, did he really say this? They're putting Bob Jones and Sean Bowles into this whole thing, this little post, because they had a picture of Bob Jones and everything. And so I researched it, and it was all over the internet. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh wow, this is for real.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. Because I think I even saw it because I think he was on stage in a church, and it was with another group of prophetic people, and I think I actually even remember hearing it, but it didn't register to me at the time. But I did remember him saying that, like when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, he's raising up his apostolic chiefs, and I was like, I think I remember seeing that. You know what I mean? He actually said it himself.
Yeah.
You know?
And so that just really hit me. I was like, wow, this is just truly the Lord.
Yeah.
And because he's talking about it's going to bring about revival. And you know, this morning actually, during our God time, we were talking about revival, and it's like, well, what does revival mean? And it really is the bringing back to life. And it's like the Lord is going to be bringing back to life his people first. I feel like it's like the revival is coming to God's people, those that we're looking for him. And
well, that's why he's building his family.
Yes.
That's why there's oil and spices. Because I was in the bathroom just a little bit ago, and the Lord was like, "You see why you need the oil and the spices? Because you just reek of desert.
Yeah.
You reek of wilderness. You reek of survival." And it's like, you got to be oiled. You got to, and all that means prophetically in real life. It's like the heart has to be prepared to receive the great presence of the Lord to come.
Yeah.
It's like it has to be prepared for it so that you can walk in it without fear. You can walk in it not feeling unworthy of that which God's going to bestow upon your life.
Yeah.
You can walk in it not giving over to depression and anxiety and dismay and discouragement and disappointment and all those. It's like you can just walk in it in confidence in the love of God that is a banner over your life. But it's like, in order to do that, all of these little areas have to be taken care of, and they have to be loved.
Yes.
You have to be loved well. That's what prepares you for the Lord. It's like the Lord's loving you to prepare you for the Lord loving you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so it's like there is just a sense of like there is the revival that the Lord is going to send to the church, his people first, because he has to have people who are just who have gone through that purification process of like they've been in the desert. Now the Lord's like, no, I'm here, I'm manifesting myself, and I'm bringing forth the things that your hearts have been longing for. He's bringing healing and just a strengthening to the body of Christ. And because also with revival, there's going to be those added. There's going to be people who are coming to know the Lord, and just in huge ways where it's like, wow, okay, they're coming to know the Lord, but God needs to make ready a people who can be ready for those who are going to come into, who are going to be born again, who are going to be touched by his heart because of what's going on and what's being the movement that the Lord is doing. And so it's like, I feel like the Lord was just giving me a picture of, he's been birthing, and he's birthing like the remnant of people, and that remnant is like Abraham's and Sarah's. These are, God's like birthing people that will be able to take care of those that come into knowing the Lord. So I just kind of want to back up because I just feel like this could be a better explanation of what I'm saying. The Lord gave me a picture of two babies that were going to be born, and the first one was a male child. And I really believe that it represents the remnant of God's people, those that have really, for the last while, I'm not going to put years on it, but it's been years.
Because it's different for different people within the time frame. It's almost like that 70 years.
Yeah.
People were born at different times during that 70 years. So that judgment, they might have been in that time frame for 50 years when someone else might have only been in it for 4.
Yeah. But either way, you're in the same group of people
that's going to be birthed out of that time frame. Yeah.
And so I just feel like there is a birthing that the Lord is doing, and this first birthing, it's those that are like the first group of people that the Lord is like, I'm bringing you out of captivity, and I'm training you. And I'm changing the way that you see me and how I've been moving, and I'm teaching you my ways. And that's where I feel like out of that group there is going to be like the
mothers and fathers.
The mothers and fathers,
and
like
the chiefs.
Yes.
Yes,
okay. The apostolic chiefs that are going to come out of that group, because with revival comes a lot of new people. Into the Lord, and Jesus talks
lots
about
of babies.
Exactly. He said, you must be born again. Well, when you're born again, you're like a baby, and babies need to be cared for. And that's
Yeah.
why the Lord's like, you have a mother and father, and they take care of you. And, you know, they're going to feed you. They're going to clothe you. They're going to, you know, wash you and help you grow up. And so the second birth I felt was going to be the birth of a female child. And I really believe that it's a representation of the bride that the Lord has been searching for and looking for. A bride that is like, her whole heart is going to be for the Lord and moving with his spirit and filled with compassion.
So the chiefs kind of represent the leaders of the new movement, but then the girl represents the entire body of Christ.
Yes.
The whole bride, which will include those apostolic chiefs, and mothers and fathers, those Abrahams and Sarahs, which was a prophetic word that was coming out quite a bit in 2019. Even the Lord shared that with us. Yeah. You know?
Exactly.
Which and we're repeating to you right now.
And so as this new child is born, it's like I had a vision where the Lord, it was either a vision or a dream. It was last year. But where it was like when she grew up, it was like I had this picture of her when she grew up, and she was
like
just
the African girl, right, with all the royal headdress and stuff, and
she was just represented royalty, but she was her heart was filled with compassion for other nations, other people. It was very much, but her heart was also for her father, for her, you know, like the Lord as her king, and
she had a baby, right?
Yeah, and she was carrying a baby.
Okay, was that a spoiler alert? Did I just steal your thunder?
Well, no, but I wasn't really going to talk about that.
Oh, okay, my bad. Keep going.
But she was carrying a child, but I felt like that just represented the heart of taking care of nations and taking care of people, like the Lord talks about. But it was all by the move of his spirit. And she was just very beautiful, very confident. She knew who she was. And I just feel like we're coming into a time, and what the Lord is birthing is a church that is confident in who they are in the Lord. Yeah. They're confident to move in the places that the Lord wants them to move, whenever he wants them to move. Yeah. And so I just feel like, but right now it's like the Lord's like, I am birthing my people that are going to then be the leaders in helping this next movement grow and develop. Mm-hmm. And also a part of that,
so having fathering and mothering hearts. Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's because part of that was at the beginning, the birth of the female child was just like, I knew that it was kind of tumultuous, like it was hard. There was a lot of persecution coming against it, saying like, this isn't gonna live, this isn't gonna last, like that kind of thing. And so because
the dragon opened his mouth and spewing water.
Yeah. But it was just like, but I think that's also why the Lord was like, I'm showing you a picture of her when she's grown up. And it's like, you would never know that there was so much turmoil at the birth and in the forming of it. Yeah. And I just believe that, yes, there is going to be great revival, but you also have to know that there's going to be an enemy he's going to try and swallow it up. He is going to try and come after it, which is why the Lord is like, I'm making a people right now who are going to be able to be mothers and fathers, be able to take my children in and help raise up this new bride that I have for Christ, this new bride that is just like, I mean, quite honestly, she was just stunning. Mm-hmm. And I believe that that's the direction that the Lord has his church headed in toward is just that we're going to be a stunning bride before the Lord, because our hearts are just so for him, and we're just willing to just listen to him in every area of our life. And so so that's what I just feel like right now, you know, with even what happened, you know, with the Super Bowl, it's like, okay, what does it have to do with Super Bowl? It's like, because I feel like this moment is one of those moments that's kind of a stamp. You know, the Lord is like, I am putting a seal, a sign, you know, where things are, are completely changing. They're being overturned. There is a great victory at hand, and I'm telling you, I'm sending Jubilee. I am sending my church forth, and there is going to be great changes, like earth-shaking changes that are going to be happening because of what I am doing and I am sending forth right now here on earth. Where you're going to see, in revival, you're going to see the power of God displayed in just amazing, miraculous ways. And that is what's going to be drawing the hearts of God's own people, but it's going to be drawing the hearts of people who don't even know the Lord.
Well, and when we talk about can I?
Yeah.
When we talk about revival, it is bringing something back to life that was dead, reviving, resuscitating. It's the same thing. Well, life is not a thing, it's a person. Jesus said, I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. So in order to really truly experience life and revival, John 10:10, the thief comes only to kill, steal, and destroy, but I have come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. You're not going to find it any other place than Jesus, and he's got to come and show you that and demonstrate that so that you can connect with him. And when you connect with the Father's heart through Jesus, it's like you experience real life. It's that umbilical connection. Without the Lord, your umbilical to him is cut. But when you're born again, you're reattached to him through the Spirit, and from the Father's heart, you get fed Jesus. You get fed life. You get fed his word. You get fed that which is truly life, and it is a person, not a thing. Or this existing thing that you just kind of do called life. No, it's a person.
And that person is Jesus, because he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And
he's
said,
the bread of life.
And he said, John 10:10, I've come to give you life and life abundant. And so it's like it's really like the Lord's heart. He's like, I am here to revive. He's here to revive his own people, and he's here to revive the nations, and just anyone who will look at the light and come running towards it. And it's like, but he's got to prepare a people who are going to be ready for everyone who's coming, because I really believe that we're going to see just so many people, and each of us, that's why the Lord's like, he has each of us in a different place as his instruments, because he's going to need people in all different places to help.
Kind of like an orchestra. It's like, don't compare. Just get your instrument, the thing God's called you to do. Go sit in your seat, be in your position, stay in your lane, that kind of thing that people have been prophesying, and then just look to the conductor for how he wants you to play and what he wants you to do. Kind of like when you're on the football field. Everyone's got their position. Everyone needs to know the plays, so that when you hear the word of the Lord say go or stop or call an audible, whatever, you know what it means and you know what to do.
Well, I think that's all that we have for you guys today. It was just...
Oh, you didn't see it, but it was underneath the camera. She did this. So I think, guys, you didn't see it. You didn't see the clapping of the hand, kind of like the coming at you. Little routine thing. No, I love it. Anyway, go ahead.
So that's all we really have for you guys today. It's just definitely, I think what the Lord did yesterday was really a stamp and just a sign. It's like listen,
do you see it? Do you perceive it?
Do you see that things are changing? And I am declaring things from heaven of victory. I'm declaring, breaking of cycles. I'm declaring complete freedom in your life. And I'm also declaring just a completely new movement of my spirit that's going to bring forth life, abundant life. And it's like, yes, Lord, I'm seeing that. And so we're going to continue to believe for that and continue to pray into that. That the Lord would
continue to just experience it and see how it unfolds. It kind of speaks to the Song of Solomon 2:11 through 13 thing, where it's like the seasons have changed. Do you not see it?
Yeah.
Don't you hear the birds? Don't you hear and see all the signs that are like, wow, things are different. The Lord says in Joel, he's like, even signs in heaven and on earth below.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like God's like, I'm speaking through all of it right there. He's just saying, I'm speaking through everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just a prophet coming in and speaking words. He's like, that's not the only thing I use to speak. It is not. I mean, even when we teach our kids in our homeschooling situation we have here, you know, we're using all kinds of things to teach them, to try to get a point across of, well, this is how order of operations work, or this is how this word works. There's word families. I mean, you do all different kinds of things just to get this one thing across. So to limit God to say, well, he's not going to speak through this, he's going to do it this way, well, you're going to miss it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I'm just saying, like, that song of Solomon is like, don't you discern the times? Don't you see what's happening? You know? And then also in Isaiah 43:19, it's like, behold, I'm doing a new thing. Exactly. Do you not perceive it or know it? Recognize it?
Yeah.
Acknowledge it?
So once again, God is doing just a new thing, and
you know, I had to throw an addendum. What's a LaVore family closing without a? Oh wait, there's more. Come on now.
I think that's our.
We don't want to mess up our brand. Long videos with addendums at the end.
Yep.
And a little bit of interruptus. I didn't do too much today, but whatever. Well, maybe I'll be better later on.
But so we just pray that you guys are blessed, and until next time, we will see you later.
Love you guys.
All right, bye.